4 down, 1 to go. We've got some Twins Cup racing coming up next. It's stop number 3 here at Road Atlanta, Braselton, Georgia. Beautiful day. Bluebird skies for the start of today. Then some clouds rolled in. Hopefully that'll cool things off. But it's anything but cool except inside our booth here. Roger Lee Hayden, I'm Robin Earl Floyd. I got to get them all 3 names. Rayanne will be with us here in just a minute. That's her middle name. And Jamie Halbert. Roger, we get to our final race today. We've seen some good racing. We've seen some lap records, overall records that we hadn't seen before, and things are just looking good going into this final race. Rocco Landers, he's our top qualifier here in the Twins Cup, trying to go back to back. How hard is that going to be for him, especially with a hot day like today?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard for him. Luckily, he's a young guy, and he's lost some weight, been training a lot since the last race, and I think that's really going to help him because he just got done with the Junior Cup race and had the podium, and now he has to go back out in this race, and it is really, really hot out, and you don't have a lot of time to try to put those fluids back in you.
Let's send it down to Jamie Rayanne. How's it going down there?
Well, it's hot. Oh, do you see that cloud just came over top of us, scrolled it down just a little bit. So I talked to Rocco when we were over in Victory Lane after that race. Remember from earlier today, he's been struggling with a little bit of a stomach bug throughout the weekend, so he wasn't up to 100% yesterday. As today has progressed, he's gotten a little bit better. He won that race. It answered the question whether or not he could go at speed and race conditions. He did that, but what about his endurance? Now he has another race less than half an hour later. He was chugging some Pedialyte, the purple kind, if you're interested. So he is well hydrated. His family was there to support him, cool him off, but he did have to get right back on a bike, so let's see how he can do.
I think the purple one's the best one. I think the purple one's the best one. Don't you, Roger? I mean, that's the one every time I'm going to the store, if I'm getting Pedialyte, that's the one I'm grabbing.
Especially when it's hot like this, I think it's the best. But, what you try to do is you try to get your core temperature down. You try to get some electrolytes back in you. Some guys will take salt tablets and just some stuff that's got sodium and all that in it that you sweat out.
Yeah, you definitely need to cool down. Some of them we saw like little kiddie pools out there, ice baths. Do something around your wrist, underneath. A good place to put ice around your neck. We're going to go on the reconnaissance lap. Front row is going to be stacked. Look at that. As we look at the championship standings, most of them on that front row. Caleb DeCarroll has 70 points, but just behind, 9 behind. Rocco Landers are going to be on that front row. You see Jason Madama, new rig he's got there in the pits, currently in 3rd. A tie for 4th with Chris Paris and Jackson Blackman. But yeah, there's several guys that can be up there in front and put pressure. We see Toby Comstock looking good this weekend. Hayden Schultz had been fast at times. I've been impressed by the 2.59. He'll start just behind Rocco Landers. Let's take a look at the track here. A little, just a skosh over 2.5 miles long.
Yeah, this track has a lot of elevation here. Turn 1 is a right-hander as you go up the hill, and then turn 2, 3, 4 is a really tight section, and then turn 4 it starts going downhill down to turn 5, and a lot of these guys will wheelie out of turn 5 headed down into 6. One of the most important corners on the track is turn 7, and one of the slowest because it is the run onto the back straightaway, which is the longest part of the track. And then one of the best passing zones is into turn 10, and then 10A, 10B over the hill and into the last corner.
Yeah, it's a cool track, and we've already heard several guys talk about it as we take a look at our starting grid. Heard several riders talk about how this is their favorite one that they'll race on all year.
Yeah, they do, because this is a fun track. It's got like we always talked about, it's got a lot of elevation, a lot of different stuff. It's got some fast corners and some slow corners, and I think it's the elevation. All riders, including myself, we like tracks with some elevation.
There's rows 1 and 2. Here's rows 3 and 4. Jackson Blackman will start at the outside. It's a right-hand first turn. Usually the pole sitter in road racing starts from the outside because they can get that good line, a sweeping line. Jason Madama going to be closed off on there. Didn't qualify the best. I think Madama qualified 9th, but he's one to look for. Again, one of those front runners for the championship points. We take a look at the last page here. Steven Smith, Betancourt, and Cliff Ramsdale. They paid points up to 15th. And my buddy Carl Price, 532, I got to look for on his Suzuki. I know, guys talking about how, the differences between the Suzuki and the Yamaha. Carl posted something on social media yesterday that he went from the Yamaha to the Suzuki, and it suits him better, but he turned a lap time 3 seconds faster than he did last year. Who's going to get the start here? Rocco Landers is going near side. In the 97, Caleb DeCarroll is the sandwich between Rocco Landers and Chris Parrish. Parrish with a good jump.
I don't think Rocco got a very good start.
No, we lost feed there. I don't know what happened, but Rocco Landers, right? Somebody dumped the clutch on our switcher. We didn't see anything, but Caleb did get a good start.
Wow, Rocco flies around the outside. And
what happened there?
I'd
love to see that again.
Just Caleb got in a little slow. And these guys are not going to want Rocco to get out here and check out, so they're going to have to try to stay pretty close to him. You can tell, just like he did in the Junior Cup race. Once he got in the lead, he tried to check out.
Well, maybe we'll get to look at that again. Rocco Landers showing how to get it done off the start. The 97, the one to look for. Second in points for the Road Racing World Young Guns Sport Bike Track Gear entry, just ahead of Caleb DeCarroll, and he already turned like the fastest ever lap around here in a Twins Cup run earlier in qualifying today. I mean, it smoked it too.
And I think this is where you're going to see that where the Yamaha works best. It has a little bit of more top speed than the Suzuki, so I expect Caleb to be able to draft past him before the kink or right after it, and be on the inside and headed into turn 10.
There he is going around that outside, but it's going to be a left-hand turn coming up here shortly.
Caleb wasn't close enough to make the pass, but Teague Hobbs making a good pass there into turn 10.
Teague Hobbs, one to look for, the number 79 on the Suzuki. Hobbs Racing World Wordcraft Technologies entry as lap 1 is now complete. There's the timing stripe. Differential just 1/10 of a second. Hayden Schultz in second. Joe Blasius up into 4th place.
And I think this is the part of the track where I think Rocco's bike's going to work a little better. I think it goes through the tight parts of the track a little better through here. You know, where it's really tight. This pretty fast left going into the right, headed down the hill. I just feel like when I'm watching, that's where it looks like Rocco's a little bit better than the other guys on the Yamaha.
Looking for more pink in there. I did not see Jason Madama, did you? I think he's back there in 10th place. He's a typical front runner. He's just behind Cooper McDonald, who's in 9th. Jackson Blackman in 8th. Chris Parrish, not the best start for Parrish. Started on the front row back in 7th.
No, definitely not a good start for him. He's going to be disappointed in that, and it just kind of makes it for a long race, especially when these races are pretty short, when you don't get a good start. And sometimes everybody loves this track, but it's also not the easiest track to pass on. So if you don't get a good start, it can take you a couple laps to move up. Drag
race fest down that straightaway. Let's take a look at the start again. I know it went away for us for just a moment. Rocco Landers on the far right. Didn't look like he got a good jump, but I mean, it looks like a pretty good launch there. Oh, somebody almost went down in the back. Look at that. And somebody didn't start at all. So here we go. Now here's the side we saw. That was just a bad launch, but he must have done a lot of clutch slipping, because he's still turning it into a start.
Well, Rocco's made a mistake because he slipped back to 3rd now. So somewhere along the...
Or is that a bike kind of issue? Because we saw Caleb actually kind of try and draft by him. He may be having something wrong with his bike.
Yeah, he could, or he could have, you know, made... See, Rocco uses a lot wider line out of turn 1 and carries a lot more speed.
Hayden Schultz, you see the 2.59 there, back in 3rd. Yeah, he does use different lines, and it has been to his benefit. I mean, he's been going faster than anybody who's ever, who am I to call him wrong? He's been going faster than anybody who's ever gone around this track on a Twins Cup bike. Best time, Caleb DeCarroll, 1:34.96 that last lap around. About a 10th or so better than Hayden Schultz that last time, but Rocco Landers still holding in there. There's that race for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Joe Blasius, number 24, currently in 4th, holding his own.
Looking good.
Go get start sheets. I can't tell where he's moved up from, but I know he did move up to get into 4th.
And I talked to Caleb DeCarroll, and he's talking about they made some changes to his bike at the last race, which on the brakes and some of the transitions, he feels a lot better. And that's going to be huge here, because this track has a couple really hard, like downhill braking, like this next corner here, right over this hill. You know, the front end gets light, but when you brake for this corner, see how far the forks get down and the rear gets light, and you know, he feels a lot better on the bike.
Feels comfy. Let's go down to Jamie Howard more on Caleb.
Over the course of the weekend, through all the sessions, Caleb DeCarroll and that team have really been working on the suspension, also trying to make sure that it's getting the most give that he can get. It's a bumpy circuit, so it really need some suspension help and all of that, and they're landed at a place where Caleb's pretty happy.
Boy, look at Rocco again, sweeping wide, Clyde. I mean, it just looks totally different, but it's a smooth transition for him. He doesn't have to worry about getting on the brakes because I don't think he ever touches them there. He just rolls.
He carries way more corner speed at the apex, and then, but in the middle of the hill, though, Caleb kind of pulls a little bit back.
You know, one guy we're seeing in that picture is Hayden Schultz. You know what? He was really fast at Road America, and then he had an engine let go and went to a backup, went to a stalker motor, and struggled. But I think he's got the race motor back in there because he looks just as fast as he was back at Road America.
He looks really strong. He's hanging in there tough and not letting these guys get away, and that's what he has to do. Just try to tuck in, and you know he's a little bit bigger than these two guys, so he's going to need the draft to help pull him along the straightaway.
I think his day job, I think he's like a store manager or something. I think his brother just graduated high school, and it's hard for everybody having to graduate high school this past year with all the COVID stuff. And there's Caleb DeCarroll, pink, yellow, the 1833 CJ nose accident and injury law Yamaha. The Yamaha is quite consistently the fastest bike. Might not handle quite as good as that Suzuki, but right now Yamaha and Suzuki 1 and 2 with the Yamaha of Hayden Schultz back in third. Schultz just hanging in there.
Yeah, hanging in tough. And here we go. We're going to see this different line that Rocco uses in the turn one. Just carries a lot more speed right here in the middle and just
drives. One of those times he's going to run up next to Caleb. Caleb's going to get a little eyeful, and then you can do the you know, like do you flinch?
He could definitely make a pass there if he needed to. But one thing that kind of worries me about that line is at the top of the hill there for turn two, he makes that corner a little bit tighter than what Caleb has to do. Caleb's a little wide there in the 5.
A little steeper than you would necessarily choose. Oh, Rocco's looking to his left, and here comes Hayden to the right. Hayden's got a good run. I don't think it's enough. Rocco stays on the throttle deeper into that turn, but he knows it. He feels that Hayden's there.
Hayden's all over him. There's Jason Madonna right there.
He's pulled into, is that pit lane now?
No,
having
that's
to pull
out
out?
of turn 5.
Oh, it's 5. I saw a whole extra portion of the track, didn't know where it was. Unfortunately for the 213, Jason Madama, he was he's up there in that top 5 in points, Syndicate Racing, Apex Assassins, Yamaha. And I think he didn't quite have the motor that he wanted in there as well. There's what happened. He almost clipped the 20 of Cooper McDonald. Or he did. I think he might have made contact.
That was close, but you know, luckily that's why we want so much runoff room at all these tracks. Look how you know they've moved that wall back in previous years, and that's why they do it. For when guys run off, he had time to slow down and didn't run his race.
Is that our save of the day? I mean, that could have been a Bobby Fong Skoltz kind of incident there.
I mean, it did run his race, but he'll still get the finish. He'll still get to go out and try to regain some spots that he lost.
Man, I mean, that could have been a high-speed high side right there. 1, 2, and 3. Caleb DeCarroll, Rocco Landers, 97, 259 of Hayden Schultz. Chris Parrish has worked his way up into 4th. Somebody we haven't talked and hadn't seen much of. He's about 5 seconds behind. These guys keep battling. Parrish may be able to eke in there. You see him way back in the picture, but he has worked his way up into 4th.
Yeah, Hayden Schultz gets a really good run on Rocco coming out of turn 5. Rocco seems like he runs a little bit wide and gets out on the curb and almost kind of kills his speed.
This is a long day for Rocco Landers just coming off the track, and I know they cut it 1 lap short. What do they have? What do they have the juniors set to run? The juniors were supposed to run 11 laps. I think they did 10, but still, you go 10 laps followed by another 12. I mean, that's a long day.
You can just see that Hayden Schultz, just, you know, he's a little bigger than these guys, and they really pull him on a straightaway, and that way he has to ride that much harder to try to catch up.
I think Rocco could be biding his time. I think he's just trying to make sure he has enough gas in the tank physically for the end of the race. The one factor I don't think that he was really counting on is Hayden Schultz. I don't think he was counting on Hayden being there, because that could be the one that really messes him up. Just like what happened with Jackson Blackman we saw at Road America. Jackson came out of nowhere, darn near won the race.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in the previous race. You know, a different guy that got second than who we thought would.
Yes, sirree. We've We've seen some good races today.
I thought Rocco would be a little bit stronger kind of through this section of the track, just because they always talk about how much better the Suzuki handles, and Hayden Schultz is really fast getting into turn 5 and gets a great run on Rocco out of there.
I think it's a case that because he looked over, he's concerned. Do you think it's a case because Caleb's in front of him, he's just not really pushing that hard? Do you think he could go faster if he had clean track in front of him?
Maybe. I'm not really sure, but you would think he would be able to want to stay a little bit closer. But like you said, that is that's the hard part of this track, is that section there. So maybe he is just kind of taking it easy till the last couple laps and make sure he saves his energy from just getting off the bike not too long ago from the Junior Cup race.
6 laps to go. He's got a good run this time. Caleb DeCarry closes in. Now he moves in. Here comes the left. Runs in a little deeper, but he still gets back behind Caleb DeCarroll, the 51 Yamaha. Caleb DeCarroll came on the scene last year. Now, he raced Super Sport before in previous years, but he came on the scene in the Twins Cup last year and just absolutely dominated in Laguna Seca. I didn't know anything about Caleb. I was new into the series, and he came from like 13th, something like that, 16th, or in qualification, to just blowing through the field and winning that race.
Yeah, he's rode the 600 a couple years ago, and he's a really fast motocross guy. He gets to train with Garrett Gerloff a lot, which has to help, and he's always on a motorcycle, whether it's motocross, supermoto, road racing, so the guy gets a lot of seat time.
And he has been doing some motocross recently. I saw some video from this past week, I believe it was, on a YZ252 stroke, but he can whip that thing, and he looks fast. But right now, all 3 of these guys are whipping everybody else. I mean, Toby Komsuk up into 4th place, the 27. How about that? Toby Komsuk's been fast here, the Robum Engineering.
Jackson Blackman making his way up through the field.
Yeah, and both of them guys on Robum bikes, they've been fast, and they're quick in the Twins Cup. They need to kind of work together. Chris Parrish, the other one in that mix, a standard of this class, and the champion 2 years ago. You see the 128. He looks fast enough. He could be in 4th, but we saw Blackman last year dip his toes into the Twins Cup. There were times when I thought he was going to win instead of Alex Dumas, but he kind of held everybody up for his buddy Dumas, it seemed like.
There goes Chris Parrish making the pass.
Now, can he pull away? That's going to be the question.
He got by both of those guys.
Yeah, fast. That bike's fast, too. And talking to Andy Palmer, they think that he thinks that's the fastest Yamaha that he's ever built. And a lot of times people have issues with that Yamaha kind of staying together. Several of our riders, including Caleb DeCarroll, who's out in front, had to switch motors because that head gasket evidently is hard to hold on. They put a lot into those bikes, and they have a hard time keeping that head gasket holding in that pressure. That's not a good thing when you lose a head gasket.
No, not at all.
And we talk about how if there's similar bikes and whatever, and Andy said it's just due to the more available space to put a bigger cam in those Yamahas, but with that, also the pressure and that head pressure to try and deal with it. Fastest lap of the race, Caleb DeCarroll, the last time around, a 1:34.45. Personal best for Rocco Landers and Hayden Schultz, though, so both of them are just keep turning laps.
Yeah, they've you know, that's a lot faster than what Michael Barnes went last year by almost a second. So that's a racetrack record. So these guys are definitely pushing hard, and I'm sure Caleb comes around and sees his board +0 every lap, and you know, he's just been really fast and consistent, knocking the laps out.
There's Chris Parrish. You see Action Jackson just behind, getting in his toe, kind of separated themselves from Toby Komsuk a little bit. Even though they did break the lap record, we thought Michael Barnes, you know, he was so fast last year on his Ducati, and he was, but I think that their race time right now still off of that qualifying time of Rocco Landers earlier. I think Rocco still has a little bit quicker time, but we're talking about race. You go fast in practice, fast in qualifier, do it with somebody around you.
Especially when you just have to, you know, qualifying, you just have to do one fast lap, and the track was cooler this morning.
And also throw 8 laps onto this tire too. I mean, they didn't just throw fresh rubber out there and throw a heater down. I mean, these guys have been completing 9 laps. They've still got 3 more to go. Back and forth for Caleb DeCarroll. 1:8:33. CJ knows it's a a lawyer, an accident injury lawyer. Let's go down to Jamie Howe with more on this battle.
As I'm watching the guys go around, remember back to the practice and qualifying sessions from earlier today and yesterday, Rocco Landers would not let Caleb DeCarroll behind him in any of the track sessions. So now that Rocco is behind Caleb doesn't know where Rocco's better. He hasn't had the opportunity to see that through his own eyes. So it could be interesting at the end of this race.
Good point. I forgot about that. Every time we saw Caleb, try and tuck in behind Rocco wouldn't let him.
Well, the thing is, after this race, Caleb will watch it, and get to see where Rocco's faster than him, and Rocco kind of is in the seat. He gets to see where he can make the pass, where his bike's better, what he can change for tomorrow. They've kind of pulled away from Hayden Schultz now, so it looks like it's just going to be down to these two guys with just 2 laps to go, and I guess we're going to find out. Is Rocco faster? Is he just watching him and going to make a pass and try to pull away? But I think we're in for a good last couple laps.
I think he's saving the body. I don't think he wants to press. I don't think he's that fast that he's going to pull away from Caleb, because he don't want to run out of gas physically with that body. I think he's kind of biding his time. But where would he make the pass as we look at that battle back behind them? That's for 4th, 5th, and 6th. You see Jackson Blackman. Hey, Toby Comstock, we thought he got dropped. He caught back up. Chris Parrish. I thought Jackson, when I saw him tucked behind Chris, I knew he would have a little more for him. And Chris has used a lot of energy just to get back up into this battle for 4th.
Yeah, Jackson Blackman's one of those guys that just seems like he gets faster as the race goes on. I don't know if he just gets in a better rhythm, but he always is stronger toward the end of the race.
Robum Engineering rider, the Ghetto Customs rider, just behind him, and Chris Parrish. He had that #1 plate on last year. He won the 2018 Twins Cup Championship, lost that title to Alex Dumas, so a vacated title. Dumas moving into the Stock 1000 class, where he got his first podium, a 3rd place finish today.
You're going to see the speed of the Yamaha here, I believe. Chris Parrish.
Again, Parrish 5th in championship points, only 39 behind. He's tied with Jackson Blackman. So both of these guys have been racing this year and have dead square on points. So we're coming to take the white flag here. All right, you got something left, Rocco Landers. You got 1 lap to prove it. You better do it before that last turn.
And also, they got some lappers they could catch too right above them. So Caleb's got to guard the inside in a couple of these corners and not leave any door open to make sure Rocco doesn't come by.
You hope that a lapper doesn't decide this, but it's not just 1, 2, but 3 lappers just in front. We're going to get tight here. Rocco, you thought he's a little slow in this section? Well, Caleb's going to have to slow down. He's catching up to him pretty darn quick.
He is, and hopefully if he can get by one of these guys and put a lapper between him and Rocco.
We've always talked about
there he goes. Look at Caleb.
Oh, man, and will that open the door? When Caleb was able to do that, that enabled Rocco to kind of get in there as well. He's got 1 more to pick off. Oh, man.
Uh-oh. That worked out for Caleb.
Yes, it did.
That's the race.
Rocco,
That's the race.
You think? Yeah, I don't know how he can do it. You talked about how you needed to be good out of that corner, and he just lost too much speed. One of the most pivotal portions of the track. That would be over there in turn 7.
But I could be wrong. You never know, because Rocco Landers is such a good rider. Maybe the draft might be able to suck him back up, headed into 10A and 10B, and try to make a move in turn 12. But it looks like it's too far.
That's a long ways, man. That's a long ways. He bided his time, and it might have bit him. I think it did. I mean, you just can't count on lapped riders. There's only, 2 turns left. He's closing in, but I don't think he's not going to have enough time. There's 1 more left-hand turn. He's not going to be able to do it.
If Caleb doesn't make a mistake.
Caleb handled the pressure, and Rocco Landers makes a mistake. Rocco Landers goes near the air fence. Can he keep it on 2 wheels? He had an advantage. The last time around, he had a good advantage over 3rd, 4th, 5th. Watch this. It's still a drag race. Caleb DeCarroll finishes 1st, Hayden Schultz 2nd, Rocco in 3rd. And boy, that was a close call. He almost lost a ton of points there.
Yeah, I'm not.
And Parrish goes off. You know what? I think the yellow flag came out. Maybe one of the other 2 riders, maybe Toby and Jackson, might have backed off a little bit, and Chris didn't expect it. I don't know. We're just guessing at this point. But he's not happy, and it has to be right there at the end.
Yeah, and it looks like a pretty big crash too, but I'm not sure what happened with Rocco, because he was so far back
He
from
pushed
Caleb,
it, and he
wasn't
didn't have
really
a chance.
Be able to make that pass.
Yeah, that never say die attitude, I think, of Rocco. I think he was pushing it till the very end. And he should have known he wasn't going to make it with that turn unless Caleb did something like that. And did he? No, he walked off the track. And Caleb.
This is Rocco's.
Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, Rocco,
Yeah,
he just wasn't going to do it. He was pushing.
fast.
Oh, man, is this?
Ooh.
It's a heck of a save.
What a save. He got save of the day.
He got our save of the day of the last race of the day. And he keeps it on two wheels. He keeps it fired up. Everything's going his way, even though it didn't go his way. He only lost one spot. Let's look behind. Where's Parrish? He should have been in that mix. Oh, no, those were the lapped riders. DeCarroll's fist pumping, able to take that victory by 6 seconds over Hayden Schultz. We'll have to figure out what happened. Yeah, good sportsmanship from the 97 there. He's got to clean a lot of gravel out of the old airbox.
What a save, though, by Rocco Landers, just to lose one spot after that. That could have been a disaster.
Could be a championship save.
Could have crashed and, lost all those points. That's if Rocco's going to do the whole season.
Yeah, if they do, keep racing the Landers team, if they do continue on, I mean, that could be a championship-saving move right there.
But what about that guy? What a ride for Caleb DeCarroll. Led from start to finish, set the pace, was pressured the whole time, and never made a mistake. And what a performance by Caleb. I'm
sure. Where was World Superbike racing today?
Jerez,
Spain. I'm sure his buddy Garrett. You like Jerez?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah, I'm sure Garrett's probably up watching. Online. He's got his MotoAmerica Live Plus subscription. About 7 hours difference, 6 hours difference from there. There are your unofficial results, and the one guy missing out of that mix was Chris Parrish. I feel bad for him. Have to find out what happened to him. You think probably the yellow flags came out the last second fervently, or maybe something happened. Maybe he ran it in there on Blackman and Comstock, because they all three were very tight. Looking at the second page, Trevor Standish able to get a top 10 for McDonald. Close call for him there early on himself, and it was at Madama. Madama able to finish in 8th. He come back and got by Cooper, and even with that little off-track excursion for a moment, he was able to salvage a top 10. That was a good job by Jason Madama. Paid to the top 15 places: Freeman, Price, Steven Smith, and Rodney Vest rounding out the top 15. So talk about Carl Price. That should be his best ever finish. And there's a guy who was set for a top 5 that is going to have a lot of work to do when he heads back to the pits. Chris Parrish was not happy and was wondering what the heck happened on that last lap. Let's send it down to Jamie Howe at the victory podium.
For Caleb DeCarroll, multiple wins on the season. He had to work for this one, though. Caleb, what was the turning point of this race for you?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is always to just get off to a really good start. And honestly, since we rolled my 1833 CJ Nose Roaring Toys Yamaha MT-07 out of the truck, it's been on point here at Road Atlanta, and I've absolutely had a blast riding around this place, and it was just a lot of fun. I'm having a ton of fun out there, and I got to give a huge personal thank you to CJ Zaya. That guy stuck with me and believed in me since I turned pro, and without him, I wouldn't have the opportunity to be out here and show the world what I got. So I got to give a big thank you to those guys. They've been helping me out for a long time, and yeah, sorry, I pretty tired, but worked my butt off out there, and yeah, I mean, I got to give a huge thank you to Mass Leathers, Bell Helmets, the Center for Plastic Surgery, I1 Moto, everybody who's been supporting me and helping me out. Mind Effects, getting me charged up before the races, but yeah, I've been having a blast out here, and thank you guys to everybody who came out here to Road Atlanta to watch some racing, and I hope we put on a good show for you.
You certainly did. That's our race winner, Caleb DeCarroll. Let's go over to Hannah Lopa.
Second place today goes to Hayden Schultz. Hayden, you were riding along solidly for a third place finish. Rocco Landers made a mistake right at the end there, bumping you up a spot. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that race was that was tough. I was pumped. I got a pretty good start and was able to settle into third there, and these guys were absolutely cooking, so trying to stay with them was tough. I was able to just latch onto the back of their group, and for most of the race until about 3 laps to go, and about that point the tires started going off, and I noticed that there was a big gap to the rest of the guys behind me. So I just decided that it was best to settle for third because I had nothing for the guys in any of the braking or the passing zones and anywhere like that. So rather than risk it and toss her down the track, I kind of just settled in and secured a podium spot, try to get points for the rest of the year. But first, got to give all the glory to God. This is an unbelievable race. My team, Gene, Dink, just Gary, Mick, everybody at the shop, they worked tirelessly to do this, to allow me to get on the track. And so big shout out to them because it wouldn't happen without them. So I'm so thankful to have such a good team behind me, such a good bike. And I can't wait to the next round and see if we can't stay on them for the rest of the race. And I was kind of lucky doing a hair second from Rocco there as he, I'm sure he sent it trying to go for a win. So I got a little bit lucky there, but that's racing, and I'm stoked for the next one.
Congratulations to Hayden Schultz. Let's get back over to Jamie.
Well, Rocco Landers started the race on pole. We've covered the fact that he hasn't been feeling well. He's now visibly hurting here in Victory Lane. We'll get to what happened, but how are you?
Fine. I haven't been feeling too good over the weekend. I started to feel a little bit not too great at the end of the Junior Cup race, and I came into the tent and I was just not feeling like amazing. But I went out and tried to get as good of a couple first laps as I possibly could, and Caleb was there and he got by me, and I kept trying to get by him on the back straight and I couldn't quite do that. But throughout the whole race, my tires started to go a little bit on the second to last lap. I got caught behind those back markers on going into, I think it was I believe it's turn 6. And we were having then I got caught and lost a little bit of time to Caleb. I was trying to get him down into turn 12, but then in the last turn I tried to get as good of a drive down the hill and into the corner as well as I could, and I ran off.
You still got the save of the day.
Thank you.
Nice job. It's Rocco Landers, a third place finisher.
Yeah, he ran off. Sometimes you got to know when to say when. He wasn't going to catch him unless Caleb did a move like that. And the most interesting thing is, and I showed you while we were doing this, we take a look at our highlights. Caleb Carroll ran his fastest lap of the race on the last lap of the race, and that is with those lappers in front of him.
Yeah, Caleb just controlled the whole race, got a great start, and just he got faster as the race went on. He broke the overall track record once. Or race record, and then did it again in the last lap, and pretty much just controlled it.
Yeah, an unbelievable ride, and Rocco Landers again pushed the envelope just a little bit too far and cost him a position, and with that position points, and Hayden Schultz was in a position to take advantage of it. The 2.59 finishes second, Rocco Landers in third. Blackman and Toby Comson, a top 5 finish, but Teague Hobbs in 6th. So as we take a look at our points now as we move into day number 2, or actually no day number 2. Twins, this is it. That's it for them this weekend. Rocco Landers now 18 points behind Caleb DeCarroll. He's going to have to wait all the way till pit race next weekend to try and redeem himself.
Yeah, Caleb's got a nice little gap now, and you can see Jason Madama fell back a little bit after his mistake, and Jackson Blackman in the top 5.
Unfortunately, Chris Parrish drops back to 8, but yeah, Hayden Schultz, a good weekend up inside that top 3, put a little feather in his cap, and he's got his fast motor probably back in there too. I'll have to find out before next week, and I look for him at pit race. That's a track that I'm looking forward to. That's one of my favorite ones. When I went around in a car, I'm like, I would ride a bike at this track.
Yeah, that track's a lot of fun, and it's kind of like this one, has a lot of elevation and stuff, so all the riders love going to Pittsburgh, and the fans are great there too.
But before we go to Pittsburgh, we still have tomorrow for 4 other classes. Stock 1000 kickoff at noon. You and I get to call that race, followed by the boys in the booth to the left of Super Sport. Race number 2 at 1, Licomali Jr. at 2, and 3 o'clock, the Honos Superbike race. And then we will call it quits and make our way to pit race. Raj, it was a good one today. The rain held off. The rain chances, there's always chances, but chances are we made it through today without any rain. We had a lot of sunshine, had a lot of heat as we take a look at Caleb DeCarroll buckling up, or putting that visor down, getting ready to go. He was pretty confident today, and he looked good.
Yeah, he looked real good, and like we said, he pretty much just didn't fold under the pressure because Rocco pressured him the whole race, and he never made a mistake. So what a good ride by Caleb. Able
to take that win, another notch in the belt there for Caleb DeCarroll. On behalf of Roger Lee Hayden and Jamie Rhiann Howe, I'm Robin Earl Floyd. Thank you, Hannah Lopa Wyman, as well. I had to get all the middle names in there. We'll see you tomorrow on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Thanks for watching. Caleb DeCarroll, your champion in the Twins.